Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Rider Ramblings. Today I'm going to look at the things that I don't like about the Yamaha FJR1300. Actually that's wrong, because there's nothing I don't like. I like it all. But there are some niggles, some areas which I think they could do better, and those are the things that I will address today. So the first one is filling up with petrol. Inside the petrol cap there is I don't know what you call it. There's a thing that gets in the way. I think that's probably the best thing I can call it. I have no idea what you'd call it, but it really does making filling her up a pain. I know why it's there. It's to make sure that you put the right size nozzle into the tank, but it really does get in the way of fueling up. And although, I mean, you know, you can still fill up and you can still do everything you need to do, it just makes it more difficult than it needs to be. And that's the first niggle I have. The second niggle is the mode switch, which is here. Now on most motorcycles that flashes the headlights, it's the passing light. And the number of times I've gone to hit that as the passing light to flash somebody, and of course nothing happens. So although they need a mode switch, and yes, it is necessary, I would have preferred that to be the passing light rather than where it is, which is just there. So that is an irritant, something that could have been done better, I think. It's just because people are so used to using that as the passing light. On my other bikes, I will actually press the horn and hit the passing light at the same time if there's somebody doing something stupid. And of course it makes me much more visible and much more noticeable. So that's niggle number 2. Niggle number 3 is the amount of carrying capacity in the top box. Now the top box is quite big. I think it's about 50 litres or something like that, so you can actually get quite a lot in it. But the rack that it sits on is rated at 11 kilos. Now the top box itself, empty, probably weighs half of that. So that means you can basically put about 5 kilos in there, which really means that you're putting waterproof gear, light clothing, and that type of thing, a spare helmet maybe. But bearing in mind a helmet can be 1.7 kilos, 1.8 kilos if you've got a flip front, then you know, it leaves very little that you can put in. So that's a niggle. Now I understand why they've done it, and it is for the stability of the vehicle at speed. So I know why they've done it, I understand why they've done it, but it would have been nicer if it could have taken something more, a little bit more heavy. Or should I have said heavier? I really must learn English. So that's niggle number 3. Niggle number 4 is the seat. If you're going to use this for commuting travelling around town, not really sitting on it for very long, maybe about half an hour to an hour maximum, then the stock seat is okay, it's absolutely fine. But if you want to do anything longer, the stock seat is absolutely appalling. So for short distances it's fine, but if you want to go touring, it's not. It's actually pretty awful, and if you want to go touring, you do have to change it either for the Yamaha comfort seat, or as I have done, for a top celery gel seat. If you want to do anything more than about an hour on the seat. I'm not heavy, I'm a little bit heavier than I should be, but I'm not heavy, so it's not necessarily weight that's causing the problem. So, that's number 4, the seat. If you're going to tour, you have to change it. Number 5 actually also has to do with the seat, and it's not very waterproof. It doesn't matter which one you've got, whether it's the standard one or the top celery one, but water gets in underneath, so if you've got anything under the seat, it must be kept in polythene containers of some sort, plastic bags or Ziploc bags or whatever, because water does get under there. I mean, the seat I've got on, the top celery one, isn't waterproof anyhow because it's a leather one with stitching, but that's beside the point. The original Yamaha one was not waterproof at the sides. So that was, I think, number 5, yes, number 5 of my niggles for this bike. And number 6 is a niggle to do with servicing, and that's the fact that the dog bones on the rear suspension need to be taken out and greased, the bearings checked, and everything else like that done every, is it about 20,000 miles? I can't actually remember the number. It might be 18,000, it might be 24,000, something like that. And that is a big expense if you get the garage to do it. And if you do it yourself, they put one of the bolts on, in my opinion, the wrong way round, so you can't actually get it out, and the best thing to do is actually cut it off and buy a new bolt and install it the other way round. You'll have to excuse me, I've got a chap on the motorcycle sitting directly behind me, so I can't actually see him. Instead of him being slightly out to one side or the other, he's directly behind me, so I can't see him properly. And I don't know what he's doing, so he's making... Oh, that's better, I can see him now. So yes, so niggle number 6 is the servicing of the dog bones and the bearings for the rear suspension. Again, yes, I understand it. I believe the final niggle number 7, is actually the amount of storage under the seat. There is some storage under the seat, don't get me wrong, but it is tiny. It's very, very small. So, it's... So you can only get sort of things like cloths, and we have to carry a high-vis vest and things like that. So you can get a cloth and a high-vis vest and a very small tool roll under the seat, whereas on my Honda you can get quite a lot more actually under the seat on that. I think part of the problem is that I have the electronic suspension model, and the control unit for the electronic suspension actually is taking up one of the storage bays. It is. So that's niggle number 7 on my list of niggles on the Yamaha FJR1300AE. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed that. As I say, these are just niggles. They're not. They haven't detracted me from the motorcycle anyway. I changed the seat. I've learnt to live with the fueling, and it's not a problem. As I say, I'm slowly learning, but my muscle memory isn't quite as good as it should be about the mode switch, because I still ride my other bike, on which that is of course the headlight flasher, the passing light. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll say cheerio, and we'll see you next time.